Good morning, Mr. Mikish. So you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On August 1st, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a disturbance call, and upon arrival, the complainant and security staff stated that the defendant made threats to kill everyone, broke 2 hospital monitors, and was acting aggressive towards the medical staff. The complainant stated the medical staff became scared since the defendant stated, "I will kill you all." The complainant stated she was scared for her life since she did not know what the defendant would do next at that moment.
That doesn't sound right because I didn't do that.
We'll give you a lawyer and we can go through this with the lawyer. So did he direct it at a person? Is he directing at the entire world? What?
The statement was only made that "I will kill you all." And it says the complainant stated the medical staff became scared, and the statement was that "I will kill you all." That's all we have from the DIMS, Your Honor. And then furthermore, the complainant did state she was the only one at the hospital at the time of the officer's arrival, since the rest of the medical staff had gone through a shift change and she was the only one there. So it's not exactly clear who was there when the statement was made. He just said, "I will kill you all."
All right, so who's it directed to? Just.
I don't even know that.
The DIMS does state that the defendant started to act aggressive towards the medical staff.
And
So
I think that's why she was scared, right?
it appears that it could follow on saying the defendant was, the complainant said she was scared and the medical staff was scared since he stated, "I will kill you all." So it appears that it was directed towards the medical staff as he was acting aggressive towards the medical staff.
It appears.
Because there's just two
A
distinct,
hunch.
there's two distinct sentences, Your Honor, where he acted aggressive towards the medical staff and the complainant stated the medical staff became scared since the defendant stated, "I will kill you all."
I thought I already did time for that too.
Mr. Mikish, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause to go forward with your case, but you need to be careful.
Yeah.
Scaring people can kind of hurt them. You know what I mean?
Your Honor, I don't.
Look, don't. Mr. Mikish, patience goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, when you get upset and when you lose control, that's why we have so many people in jail, because they lose control, they do whatever they want to do, and they don't think, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? Be careful, all right? All right, just hang tight for me in the back.
Hey, we've got Romero Lozano. It's a first appearance.
Okay. Mr. Lozano, come on up.
Rear-end accident on 59. Okay, take it, man. He doesn't get right.
Any prior DWIs?
I don't believe he's got any priors of any kind. Right? No.
Good morning, Mr. Lozano. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 7th, 2025, at approximately 10:08 p.m., the officer was dispatched to a major crash on the 200 block of South US 50 freeway in Harris County, Texas. The officer met with other officers at the nearby gas station where they had moved the scene. The real witness stated she was rear-ended by the defendant and was able to put the defendant behind the wheel of the vehicle. The officer observed front-end damage to the defendant's vehicle, and the officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and occupant of the vehicle. The officer observed slurred speech, staggering, and disorientation and confusion. The standard fields of writings were conducted, HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant stated he did not drink any alcohol that day, and the defendant was read the DIC and refused to provide a breath specimen. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Williams?
The judge, it sounds like there's no probable cause because US 50 is not in Harris County, Texas. That's what the road they said it happened on.
Where is it?
It said US 50. That's not in Harris County.
And the DIMS does say 200 block of South US.
Are you serious? Do I need to look it up? I don't know.
Your Honor, the DIMS further says during the scene of the accident, which occurred on 200 block of South US 59 freeway, Harris County, Texas. But counsel is correct that before they said he responded to a major crash call for service on the 200 block of South US 50 freeway. So they put 50, but then later in the DMs, they just put 59. So they're just two addresses, so I don't know why that's there. But they did say the accident occurred on US 59.
Well, that would be a different story.
Do you have any other evidence that is pointing to that it's at 59 or is it 50?
So, Your Honor, the only thing we have is that statement from the officer, which states that the accident occurred on 200 block of US 59 in Houston, Texas, 77004.
Is that what really happened or was it on 50?
So that's what I can explain is the officer put.
I'm not working on hunches here, man.
And I understand, Your Honor. The officer initially said he responded to a crash call for service, which occurred on US 50, but then later said the accident occurred on 59. So let me see if we
Definitively
I
point
guess
where it is.
I'll check the OR and see if they clarify in the complete OR. And in the OR as well, the officer says, which occurred on 200 block of US 50, Houston, Texas, 77004.
So is 50, it's not in Harris County?
No,
He
Fifty,
switches
Highway
between 50 and 59 in the offense report sheet.
I know probable cause.
Yes, Judge, and we understand.
All right, Joe.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Lozano, be careful out there. You know what I mean? Really. Just listen to, he's great. He'll help you out whenever you need, you know? All right, man. Good luck.
Excuse, Judge? Got it. All right, I'll meet you in the hallway. Okay.
Mr. Ajete, you were charged with liquor sale without a permit. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You are on bond for the same case. You've not picked up another case. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 7th, 2025, the officers conducted an undercover vice investigation at a club known as Poppy's for operating illegally by selling alcohol without a permit and during prohibited hours. TABC confirmed that the establishment does not have a permit, and the undercover officer observed the defendant working as a bartender. The officer was able to purchase and order a vodka drink. After the officer gave him money, the defendant began to prepare the beverage.
So he's working after hours, you saying?
Yes, Judge. And he was also working at an establishment that does not have a permit.
All right, Mr. Ajete, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I ask you to do one thing, not to pick up any new cases. This is now your third of the same case. I am now revoking your bond and I'm putting you in jail. Goes with you. 5,003. It goes with you. Sorry, counsel, I can't just let it happen.
I
It's just
understand.
over and over and over. At some point, he'll get it.
Dismissed. The first one was dismissed.
I understand, but he's on bond for one, and now he picks up another one. So we're still over and over and over. At some point, you're gonna get, in life, when you do the wrong things, there are consequences. And I can't continue to let it happen. It goes with you.
So
Yeah, just the old, so I'll leave the new case as is. The bond is at $500. On the case where, on the old case, I'll 5,002. 5,002.
Okay.
He will pop up probably on Monday's docket unless he bonds out. I don't know. So if you want to pop on by Monday, we can talk about it and see where we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks.
Robert Taylor, he took in, he was already at 2501. Do you want to leave it 5,000?
Yeah, 5,001.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You are Diego Camacho.
You said,
Mr. Camacho, you're charged with failure to stop and give information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On February 7th, 2025, officers were dispatched to Hardy Road in Harris County, Texas, in regard to a minor crash, failure to stop and give information call. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with the complainant, who was also in police uniform. The complainant stated he was driving on the freeway when another vehicle got into his lane and cut him off to make the exit. The defendant got over and hit the front right panel of his truck with the back driver's side of the defendant's vehicle. The complainant followed the defendant, who had his hazards on, but the defendant did not pull over. The complainant continued to follow the defendant's vehicle until the 911 operator told him to stop following. The complainant gave a description of the defendant's vehicle, and a license plate number to the dispatcher. The complainant pulled over and waited for the officers to make a report with an estimated damage of $2,000. The officers ran the license plate and found the vehicle registered to an address on Skinner Road, and the officers traveled to the location and met with the defendant and his father. The officers were given consent to enter the property, look at the vehicle, and observe damage. The defendant stated he was crossing the lane to get over because there was an opening and that the truck accelerated and hit him. The defendant stated the complainant already hit him and was close behind him, so he kept going. The defendant stated he turned down his street and the complainant kept going. The defendant's address is approximately 7 miles from where the accident occurred.
Okay.
And so, Judge, if I may, the complainant was only stopped following him while he had his hazards because he was told on the 911 call. And also, I see on the summary that when they run his license plates, license plates GS9711 is missing a letter. License plates are usually 3 letters, 3 and 3 numbers. So I'm not sure how running the license plates will go to his house. And additionally, if the correct license plates were also run, then it would actually show that he's not the owner of the vehicle. So I'm not sure how they were able to identify.
Well, somehow they got to the house, right?
Yes, Judge, they ran it and they got to an address and they went there and met with the defendant.
And then he states that he was driving, right? And the collision occurred, and then he took off. Your license plate, I have no idea. I mean, did they have the full license plate or did they not?
Your Honor, at this time, I don't know. The DIMS just states, as counsel said, just GS9711. So I don't know in the full office report if it says the full license plate number, but either way, they ran a license plate and they returned.
Somehow they were able to get it to him. I don't know. I mean, if you discover something later that's different, come back and we can revisit probable cause. I'm happy to do it at any time.
Yes, Judge. And so the reason I say that is because I have the tags for that vehicle, and that's not the license plates that we have on the summary. And that's
I mean, really, we'd have to set it for a formal hearing.
Okay, Judge.
Because I have to give them time to be able to respond to that as well, because that's more, I mean, this is just a mere probable cause here.
Your Honor, in the OR, there is the complete license plate. It's the RSG and it continues on. So
I'll check on that, yeah. That's fine.
So you're saying it was in the DIMS?
in the DIMS, it was missing a letter, but in the full OR, they have the complete license number.
Pull the 911 tapes, see what the 911 tape
We'll wait
says,
for
right?
that,
It may
Judge.
be different, maybe they'll have the whole thing on the 911 tape,
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Camacho, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you run his license? See, he has a valid license.
Correct, Your Honor.
You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is a condition of your bond. So if I find that you're driving and you don't have a license or you don't have insurance, I'm going to revoke your bond. I'll put you in jail. No more PR bonds.
Eligible, Your Honor.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you have a lawyer. Good job having a lawyer because you do. I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with her. You don't have to come back to court. She'll let you know when you have to come back to court. All right? All right, I'm going to have you sign a receipt of Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. All right? Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
Right, the council is approaching on page 16. Thompson, come on up.
Can you follow those conditions, Alex, please?
Just no contact with complainant and which other?
I didn't say that, but that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
And then no license, no insurance, no driver's.
Okay.
Inside to Lisa. Go ahead and have it see the jury box.
This is Lauren Thompson. You are Lauren Thompson. Ms. Thompson, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
One moment, Your Honor. It's Thompson, correct?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay. On February 8th, 2025, the officers were traveling on 4300 Luella Avenue in Deer Park and observed a motor vehicle driving with an expired license plate. The officer confirmed with TCIC and CIC and performed a traffic stop. Upon making contact with the defendant, he observed bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to consuming 3 alcoholic seltzers, and standard field sobriety tests were administered. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 8 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and refused to provide a sample, and a blood search warrant was signed and executed.
All right, Ms. Thompson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Any prior to DBIs, and does she have a license?
No priors, Your Honor, I'm running her license right now.
She doesn't have any priors.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. As long as you're not using, everything will be fine. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. Do you understand?
Your Honor, we'd like to state that she did tell the officer that, she had, taken some medication. So she did explain to the officer that she was under some medication. So we would like our concern is the revocation of her license. There's motions for.
I'm not revoking her license. I mean, you may continue to drive, just if it does become suspended at a later point, you just have to be cognizant of that it does, that you're not allowed to drive. So just be careful. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with the ALR hearing and all that. So just be careful. Now, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with her and she'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. Just don't consume alcohol. Don't use illegal drugs. If you're taking or no unprescribed controlled medication. If you're taking medication prescribed by a doctor, that's absolutely fine.
You tell us, Your Honor.
Okay, just understand that if you're taking a controlled substance, even prescribed by a doctor, if you take too much, it can be.
And just like that, Miss Thompson avoids immediate jail time, signs her paperwork, and steps out. But the legal machine never stops moving. The courtroom shuffles the docket for the next batch of unrepresented defendants. The tension resets. What did you think of the judge's warning on prescription medication? Smash that like button, subscribe for more daily courtroom breakdowns, and stay tuned because page 2 is up. Next, and the cases are only getting wilder.
Do you want the ones without attorneys first?
I don't care. Just
Okay, page 1, or I'm sorry, 2,
don't matter.
Alti, Ahmed,